Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. Today we're going to be looking at a relatively small item, but a relatively powerful one, and that is the Wizardspike Bone Knife. Now the Wizardspike Bone Knife is an elite item, so it cannot be upgraded. It is also indestructible, so it cannot be ethereal, so do keep that in mind. And this little guy who's joining me today is actually someone we rescued outside of Kroger. He was abandoned out there along with two of his other brothers and sisters, and one of them didn't make it, as far as I understand, got hit by a car, and the other one apparently got picked up by a nice young lady. This one in particular was being very, very difficult to catch. He went into a storm drain, he climbed up a tree. It's a whole story, but he's a very young kitten, not very old, maybe like a month, maybe 2 months. I'm not exactly certain. He's got a very cute face, that's for certain. And he loves to purr. We're going to see if we can find him a home. If not, he'll probably end up staying with us. But, it's just the way the cookie crumbles. So this particular item is extremely powerful for many, many reasons. And you'll see that the damage on this is not particularly high, with 23 to 49. It's relatively low. So it's not really meant to be a melee weapon. We also have a dexterity of 75, which is relatively high for caster classes. And if you are a sorceress or a hurricane druid or something like that, and you are looking at this item, you are going to need a little bit of dexterity to put this on. We also have a strength requirement of 38, which is relatively low. I think most characters have at least 38 strength, which is not bad. This particular item is indestructible, as I said, and it does have 50% faster cast, which is a lot of faster cast. 50% faster cast is more than most items give. In fact, a spirit can only maximum give 35%, and most of the time it's going to roll a lot lower than that. So when you think about this particular item, especially if you rolled some crappy spirits and the highest you can get is 25%, which I've seen, you're looking at a pretty decent item here, because it's literally worth 2 crappy spirits, or at least 1 plus really perfect spirit, so 35%. The other interesting thing here is that versus the spirit sword, it wins out in the resistance category, and we'll talk about that. We also have increases maximum mana by 15%, which is a pretty huge amount, and it also gives us mana based on character level, which is 2 per level, and the 2 per level that it gives us is really high, especially when you consider the fact that it gives us the maximum mana as well. So we're looking at 2 various effects here. We've got the maximum mana, and we also have the mana based on character level, which both stack together as a just a huge effect on our mana pool. You see right now I have 622 mana, and if I take this off, I have 372 mana. So a pretty huge bonus to mana there, just in general. And if I take off, like for instance, the spirit, which also gives me mana, you'll see that I'm go up to 494, and the maximum mana increases the mana from the spirit as well, which is really, really nice. And the regenerate mana 15% is also very nice to have on this, because it means that we're going to regenerate mana faster. Now what you have to keep in mind with regenerate mana is that regenerate mana will go up the more mana you have. A lot of people, I think, don't realize this, and basically what it is that the more mana you have, the faster the regeneration works. And this applies to regenerate mana on items like Mage Fists or Mantled Heels. It applies to regenerate mana on the the Warmth skill. It applies to the regenerate mana on Insight. All of these effects are going to have a greater bonus to the regeneration rate of your mana when you have a larger pool. So having something like Wizardspike, which gives you a rather large amount of plus to mana, is a huge bonus. It's going to really make a big difference in the amount of regeneration that you can get off, and how many spells you can cast before you need to chug a potion. And then on top of that, it also has all resistances 75. I mean, this thing literally has some of the best stats of any item in the game, just about. I mean, it gives you the faster cast you need, it gives you the mana you need, it gives you the regeneration you need, and then on top of that, it gives you 75 all res, which is a huge bonus. If we take a look at our mana, you will see that our mana is or sorry, our resistances are relatively low without Wizardspike. We're in the negative on all of them. And if we take our Wizardspike and we put it on, you will see that they go up into the white range. And if we tag it along with something like a spirit, you'll see we're actually doing fairly well in hell difficulty with our resistances. You can also really stack on the resistances with this particular item. One of the things that you can do without a doubt is you can throw in an all resistance jewel. So an all resistances 14 or 15 jewel, usually with some other stats on it. And you could make this an all resistance 89 or 90, which is a lot of resistances.
Not in town.
He doesn't want me to talk. Now, this particular item can be found just about anywhere, and if you look this particular item up on the treasure class list, you will find that this particular item, he stares at me. It's the weirdest thing. He just stares right into my soul. This particular item has a TC class of 60, and the treasure class of this particular item is relatively low, which means you're going to be able to find this just about anywhere in hell difficulty, and you will also be able to find this just about anywhere in nightmare difficulty up to a certain point. So the highest that you can find this is Chaos Sanctuary. So Chaos Sanctuary Act 4 and in the cow level in nightmare difficulty, which is level 64 area level. So you'll be able to find this Chaos Sanctuary and beyond. Pretty much every single area past Chaos Sanctuary, including Chaos Sanctuary, can drop this item. Also, most likely Nightmare Mephisto and the cow level in nightmare difficulty. So very nice there. Every time he jumps down, he comes back and he starts crying, and he wants me to play with him again. It's a very muted cry. You can barely even hear it, to be honest.
Yes, little kitty. Yes, little kitty. Little kitty. Gonna get the chin scratches. Gonna get all the chin scratches.
Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when they are filled with cats. And as always, keep watching.
Bye.
I'm trying to hit the button, sir.